Welcome, everyone, to the Dr. Fantastic and Thunder Show, where we introduce you to great people, great technologies, and interesting information that will help you improve your mind, your body, and the planet. And today's guest is Darrell from the Darrell Show. He's a humanitarian, and he's going to enlighten us on some really great information to help, I think, your mind and the body. Right, Darrell?
Absolutely.
Tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm a former Army officer. I did serve 9 years. I left the Army and I was promotable to major, but it was a great assignment that I did in serving the country there. And since then, I was just kind of living life as typically would in corporate America. And then actually one day I moved to the area of Ohio. I won't mention the town, but there was a series of KKK rallies that were occurring there, and I actually it compelled me into service. I decided that the best way to kind of combat that type of hatred and ignorance, for lack of a better term, was to try to reach the kids and the younger people before other people with distorted minds did. So I joined a local chapter of the NAACP there. I became the vice president and then the president for the branches there. Got involved in a lot of community committees, working with the city mayor, the president of the college, the police chief, and sheriffs. So it's a wonderful community, and it's really ironic that I owe so much of my public service and my commitment to a group like the KKK. So, and then I subsequently went on to become a violence prevention practitioner. I've been as such I'm a certified facilitator for the Ohio Violence Prevention Program. And I also have another company, my own company, called Community Action Service Endeavors, where I do a lot of training and conferences, workshops, seminars on ways to combat racism, sexism, and all of the isms. I think actually I was with Thunder in Los Angeles 4 or 5 years ago, and following a presentation, somebody asked me a question, and I told them that I'm kind of like the world's first ismologist, if there's such a thing, because I kind of look at the structure of what an ism is, and and then we try to illuminate, enlighten, and just share with people on types of things that we can do to embrace our humanity and just make the world a better world than what it is.
It seems to me it's all about education. We're still, in my mind, we're still a primitive species, using very low percentage of our brains. And, we're learning every day. We learned about segregation years ago. We learned about smoking was bad for your health. We're learning all these different things. We're learning about quantum mechanics, thanks to Thunder and people in the quantum physics world. And this show is all about bringing that information to the people,
Well, and that's another strange irony, because I began, I think it was like 2011, maybe a little bit before, no, actually before then, around 2009. I just began to expand my circles. Amongst other things, I'm also ordained minister and jurisdictional bishop. But then I had experiences. I was going to L.A. to learn all kinds of information from other things outside of what I've been taught and what I've been learned or miseducated about. But it was one of these conferences that I met Thunder. And he introduced me to the whole world of quantum physics. And I was so delighted and intrigued by some of the technology that he showed me. And so, I will never forget it, because it was just magnificent. Particularly when I went out with breakfast with you and one of your colleagues, and y'all shared with me some information. I just called it 23rd century technology. But I've seen so many things, and so we're at a point now where, we don't have to try to figure out just solely on our own. There are so many more tools, devices, technology, and particularly in relative to what quantum physics has to offer, that we have the potential to make so many quantum leaps forward in this whole awakening process. And I'm working with a lot of other people that are, leaders in one way or another, or just people that are just trying to sort it out, figure it out, and to make this humanity a better one. But the technology is just as important as it is. I listened to the interview that you did yesterday with this other gentleman who was a publisher for Billy Myers.
Yeah, Michael Horner.
Yes, an excellent interview, by the way. And son, I hope you're feeling better. But, you know, and Amanda, you kind of alluded to in there about what technologies are available. And it was just a really, really great conversation. But I guess all that simply to say is that, you know, at the end of the day, you know, none of us is smarter than all of us.
Well, you know what?
We can all put our heads together.
I'm glad you
transform.
Yeah. I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm glad you brought up the Michael Horn interview, because that gave me, you know, life is an evolution. You know, as Thunder knows, I've been in 79 different fields in my life. And I don't want to do another 79 because I feel it enriches me. And I think Thunder and I are embarking today on a new mission, thanks to Michael Horn and thanks to Stefan Vincel over in Seoul, Korea. They introduced to me what's known as the ELE, the Extinction Level Event. Somewhat like when the meteorite hit the Earth and wiped out, you know, the dinosaurs. Well, we're in the middle of one right now, an extinction level event, and no one knows about it. Since Michael and Stefan opened my eyes, I've been asking everyone I run into if they knew anything about Fukushima, and literally no one knows about it. And this is a travesty. And Thunder and I are launching today a new channel on YouTube. It's going to be a podcast and a webcast. And it's called Help Dr. Fantastic and Thunder Save the Planet. You know, it's kind of a fun little title, but it's a serious endeavor, because no one knows that we're in an extinction level event and no one's doing anything about it. And so our first line of attack is going to be to educate people, to let them know that there's 3 nuclear reactors that have been spilled onto the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. And not only have they polluted in the last 7 years the entire Pacific Ocean, but the atmosphere as well. And luckily, mostly in the high atmosphere, but it's still coming down on us. And we've got mutated humans, mutated fish, and mutated plants all over the world because of the nuclear fallout, and no one knows about it. So today, Thunder and I are launching the Help Dr. Fantastic and Thunder Save the Planet. And we're going to get the word out, and we're gonna. And Michael helped do that. We're gonna have him back on. We're gonna have Stefan back on, who's knows a lot about this, and it's all out there on the internet. But no one's talking about it. Everyone's buried their head in the sand, and we're not gonna live through it unless we do something about it. So, you know, I'm sorry for the rant there, but when you mentioned Michael Horn, I thought maybe it was a good time to throw out to everyone who's listening to tune in to the new show that we're going to be launching today.
Well, I'm glad. You know, I listened to a few of your other previous podcasts, to include one you did yesterday, and you're absolutely right. And I know I've had a few conversations in the last few years with Thunder about some of the things that he's been working on and some of his concerns, also specifically with the Fukushima event. And I would follow some other people that would chart the fallout and where the winds are blowing on a day-to-day basis, particularly, you know, a lot of my friends out there in California area, you know, because people just really didn't believe that the clouds are floating over that far and the winds are carrying it. But it's far more devastating and tragic than what people realize. The media has intentionally avoided the topic to divert us. And you know, it really is something that people need to be made aware of. Just like, you know, the BP oil spill. You know, it came and went, and as terrible as it was, and we watched it every day on TV. But now where is it? And the oil didn't go away. You know, and you gave a good analogy.
Well, that pales in comparison, because in nature we've had volcanic eruptions on the bottom. We've had oil spills, you know, throughout, you know, time, and so natural oil spills, not because of BP. And so, to me, that was bad, but it pales in comparison to an ELE, which is what we're having now.
It does. And I guess my point simply is just the you know, with the apathy that the culture that we've become at large, and I'm not trying to be, you know, condescending, but it's the fact that you know, as quickly as we forgot about that, or we forgot about the thermite at 9/11. You know, cognitive dissonance is really one of the challenges we have. Is how do you wake people up that are, you know, really just victims of cognitive dissonance, that they just become apathetic, They aren't concerned. And you're right. You're looking at an extension level event, and people don't see how it really affects their lives. You know, where's my MTV and my radio and my whatever. So, you know, people still, we need to be awake and aware and alert.
And that's what this whole channel is about. And that's why I'm very happy to take the time out of my day and talk to people like yourself. And Thunder is bringing an extraordinary amount of high-level talent to the table to talk to. And it's just, you know, I like to learn from everyone I meet, and I have my whole life. I hitchhiked around the world as a 17-year-old. You know, I may forget a lot of the stuff, but I want to learn something every day, you know?
Yeah. And for what you do and your extensive background, you know, we're fortunate. And I know you've had this humanitarian and the heart to serve for, I think it's probably 6-7 years ago was the first conversation that we had. And you've been at the wheel, you know, diligently at it, and now you're coming back. And I love the Be Fantastic and the whole idea behind it and your logo. So, I commend you and others like you that are out there on the forefront, you know, helping wake people up.
Well, Darrell,
to kind of like share. Yes.
Did you subscribe to the channel yet?
Yes, I did. I did last night when you had that gentleman in the cab, and you were telling him he was going to be like 969.
Right.
Well, that was me. I took it from him.
Oh, that's great.
Right on. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I went into Thunder was actually on the phone with me, and I went to a health food store because my wife's losing sleep, and she can't sleep, so I bought some melatonin. And the guy at the cash register goes, "You're Dr. Fantastic. You interviewed me." I thought that was hilarious.
Oh.
Right, Thunder?
I think that's fun. You know, I think that was so fun in what you're doing, and you know, yeah, and it's also, you know, it's a really light way to help. You know, make it fun for people to learn without being intimidating and inundating them with a bunch of facts and figures. You know, you kind of make it lively and interesting and entertaining.
Well, I don't know how many of my motivational speeches you've seen on the channel. You know, we have over 500 interviews. But if you ever see me just talking directly to the camera, I say things like, I tell young people, your life is your movie, and you are the star of your movie, and you're the director of your movie. So if you can imagine, there's an imaginary film camera filming you each and every day of your life. You need to make every scene in your movie every day fun, exciting, educational, motivational, you know, uplifting, all those good adjectives. And when you do that, you're going to have a full life. You're going to have a fun life. So when I drive Lyft or I drive limo or I drive yachts, I make every, I don't care how mundane a task it is, I have to have fun. So those are my scenes in my movie. And if someone sleeps while I'm driving them, that's a waste of film in my movie. And that scene's going to end up on the cutting room floor. So I tell people, make your movie exciting, because no one's going to direct your movie but you. You got to direct a great movie and have a great life. So that's one of my big sayings.
I like that. You know, and then you're moving in your world. I mean, you got a lot of supporting characters, but at the end of the day, you know, everybody is their own lead actor or actress. You know, and we just all play well together. You know, it's kind of like Shakespeare said that the whole world is a stage, but
exactly.
I think there's a lot more fact to fiction than that. And I don't know how it is that we're all connected and how things are orchestrated together. But if we come to the realization that we really are all one, and if we all acted and behaved in a manner that we realize that the things that we do, the things that we say, the thoughts that we think are all interrelated, and we kind of cross-pollinate and be fantastic together, man, what a more wonderful world we would be.
Well, if the least I could do is get enough people to be fantastic where they let you in traffic, I'll be happy with that.
All right.
A girl I met, she said, when I came to Los Angeles, before I left my home to travel to Los Angeles, a friend of mine said, whatever you do when you're driving in Los Angeles, don't use your turn signals. Because if you use your turn signals, no one's going to let you in. And that is such a truism, because everyone is selfish. We live in a selfish, litigious, greedy society, and nobody cares about the guy in front of you. But I want to say one thing, though, is when you do let someone in, it feels wonderful, it feels fantastic, and it makes the other person feel great.
You're so right, and that's very ironic. Don't use your turn signals, because if you do, you're broadcasting your intention, and nobody's going to want to help you. How crazy is that?
It's crazy. It's upsetting. It's disgusting. It's because where everyone is selfish. All they care about themselves. Now, if it was your friend in front of you, you'd let him in a heartbeat. But because it's not your friend, it's a total stranger, you give a flying shit about him. Yeah.
It kind of goes to what Michael was saying yesterday with his relationship with Billy Meyer and the construction of a species that is aggressive, somewhat hostile. You know, you would expect those types of behaviors, but I think at the end of the day, and if all that were true, and I would say, you know, early on, I really began my exploration when I began studying the Billy Meyer case 16, 17 years ago. I was just really enthralled by it. And that's where I kind of got really intrigued by just so many of the things that have affected the last decade of my life. But for him to come out and say that we've got this created race is intended to be aggressive and, you know, militant-like, you know, perhaps that's so. But there are so many examples of good-hearted, good-spirited people that I come into contact with, and just entire communities that even if that were the design, I don't think that's going to be the final design. And maybe our challenge is to infect the world with all the positivity, the love, and the light that we can.
Yes.
You know, and Thunder will appreciate this, because there's something Thunder told me. I never will forget it, because I've stole it from him. I stole it to a few other people. But he told me that. What was that? Yeah, you said there's only two rules in life.
Only two.
Yep. You said always be positive and never be negative.
That's it.
That sums it up.
Well, if people understood how powerful your mind is, they would understand that positive thoughts manifest positive actions, and negative thoughts manifest negative actions. I try to instill upon everyone who becomes a fantastic person to never put a negative thought in their head. Not that they're going to be late, not that the project's not going to come out on time, not that he's going to call or she's going to call you. These negative thoughts will manifest negative actions. You've got to put positive in your brain at all times. If anyone is negative in your life, you've got to, that's a cancer. You've got to get them out of your life. The positive is and again, our logo is pollinating positivity. A fantastic person is the most positive person on the planet. That's a lot of P's, by the way.
But you know, it's so appropriate for me to be on your show, because like probably for the last 15 years, when people ask me how I'm doing, I don't say I'm all right. I don't say I'm good. I always say fantastic.
Do you really?
You know? Absolutely, yes, I do. For like the last 15 years.
Well, Darrell, you become now the 44th person out of over 2,000 people I've interviewed and gave them the fantastic speech that has ever known someone or themselves say they're fantastic. I mean, obviously your parents are fantastic and your kids are fantastic, but the people that say they're fantastic are few and far between, and they've only numbered 44 since I began the movement 4 or 5 months ago. But thank you for being fantastic.
Well, thank you, and thank you for being fantastic. And I do, and I say it, and I believe it. You know, and even if I'm in a not a really good place, just saying it lifts me to being fantastic. And I remind myself and say, "Self, you are fantastic."
And Darrell, do you know why that occurs?
Well, I'm training my mind, but you know,
there's a physiological reaction in your brain when you say the word fantastic. It makes you smile. The smile releases endorphins, dopamine, and serotonin. And those are neuromessaging units that make you feel great. They also reduce the stress in your life. So even if you're feeling shitty and low down, sad and lonely, say you're fantastic, because that puts a smile on your face and brings you a little bit out of the mood.
No, I can bump up. I can go from a state 5 to a state 9 just by saying fantastic. And sometimes I'll snap my fingers 3 times just to remind myself to connect to that.
Darrell, when I introduce this to people and I tell them to say they're fantastic, and with very much enthusiasm, their whole body changes, their whole demeanor, and they feel. And I said, "Now, how do you feel?" And I feel like a doctor. I am Dr. Fantastic, but I say, "How do you feel now?" They go, "I feel fantastic," and it's like they can't believe how good they feel just by saying that word.
No, I get it. You know, even for me, my other two, you know, the worst day I ever had wasn't even half bad. You know, and it was good. Yeah. You know, there's a lot of people that wish they had all my problems, but being fantastic ain't no problem to me. You know, and it's a blessing to kind of live in that space where you can kind of just look over and say, you know, things could be a heck of a lot worse, but I'm going to be fantastic anyway.
So, Darrell, did you send in an email to us to get your free EMF reducer?
No, I did.
Okay, send an email to befantasticemf@gmail. Put in put in the number 690 in the subject bar, and then put in the body of the email the phone number you want the reducer on, and you get it immediately. And you can't share it because it's only good for one use, you know, one phone. And we're very happy to have you on board. We're very happy to give that to you for, free of no charge for being a fantastic person. And please share these videos and these podcasts and uplifting shows. And my goal is to get 1 million people being fantastic. And we're at 691 right now, I believe, or 690. And it's going to take a lot of work, but I think it's worth it.
It is. It is all worth it, because you never know. You know, if you're just reaching one person, you don't know what that one person or those three people. You know, it's just like it's just a cascade effect.
You know, I have a card, Darrell, and it says "Be fantastic, join the movement," and all about. You know, it's a pretty it's a card that has a lot. It's a business card, you know. And when I give it to people, and I say, first I walk up to someone and I say, "How are you?" And they say, "I'm good." I go, "How would you like to be fantastic?" And I give them the card, and their eyes light up, and they go, "Oh, thank you so much." It's like I gave them $20, you know. It's the funniest thing you ever saw.
Oh yeah. And actually, I'm going to send you that email link because maybe I need to upgrade. But I've got some of that technology on my phone already. Probably a compliment of Thunder. Thank you, Thunder. Yay. Yeah, I was explaining it to a friend of mine last night, you know, and people still, you know, they're just amazed of how, you know, how does it work and how's it going to do this. You know, but never ask, you know, the same phone that they're going to put it on, you know, never every question is how does a cell phone work? How did you get a frequency, get a signal, and catch a phone call?
Well, just send them to our website. We've got a video demo on the website. BeFantasticToday.com. We've got a video demonstration there.
Well, I have to check that out. Yeah, I'm not a doubter or a hater. You know, I mean, Thunder's really kind of helped me evolve in my understanding of quantum physics. And in fact, you know, he helped me get an understanding of going from theoretical quantum physics to applied quantum physics. And I credited that to him. You know, he's probably the first applied quantum physicist I've met. So, yeah. I already know, and I know that I know.
You know.
Yeah. I'm in the know.
You're in the know. Yeah, I remember the first time I showed this field chip, I believe it was a Mercedes to a guy that was down the street. Wasn't it, Darrell?
Yes, it was. It was an old Mercedes. It was a diesel Mercedes at that.
Old diesel, smelly diesel. And, yeah, I had a whole room of skeptics looking at me kind of like, what are you doing here, buddy, talking about this? To going back up and, I was at the party that night, I thought.
Yeah. And get the testimonials back as well. And that, and I think you did a Hummer that following day, a guy that had a Hummer.
Oh, yeah, he's a top psychic out there in the world.
Yeah, he's on the who's who list. And I remember when he drove back to Phoenix. I saw him the following year, and he was talking about. No, he had sent an email talking about the results that he got back, how much fuel he saved when he got back to. I think he was driving back.
Yeah, Turi.
Yes, that's right. That was it.
Dr. Turi. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's a heck of a psychic. He's out of France, I believe.
Yeah.
Now he lives out in Arizona?
Yes.
Well, Darrell, do you want to give a shout out to any websites you have, or promote yourself?
Oh, I would simply, I'd like, let people know that, although I'm not broadcasting on the air right now, I've been off the air, but I would tell everybody, please, to go to truthcatradio.com. That's truthcat, one word, truthcatradio.com. And I've got a lot of archives and some really, really great interviews. Friend me on Facebook. I'm always posting some small videos. I may be going back to TruthCat, go back to my live broadcasting. Things are kind of settling down in my day job, so I'm getting a better perspective of what my near future is going to be like. And I kind of had to leave it alone for a minute because I had to change shifts. But
well,
in that regard,
we're listing all our guests on a new page with their website. So if you don't mind emailing Thunder or myself, that because I'm going to forget TrueCat. Believe it or not, okay. we want people that are interested in these conversations to be able to contact our guests and follow through and enrich their lives.
Well, and I got to give a big shout out to I used to come out to LA 3 to 4 or 5 times a year. Participate in something or visit. I've been spending a lot more time and energy working here locally, but basically I spent a lot of time in ceremony and working with my family here in Ohio at the Serpent Mound. And a lot of people are familiar perhaps with Serpent Mound, but I want to give a shout out to the Friends of Serpent Mound and a lot of the indigenous peoples that, and again, from all walks of life that come. And a lot of people from LA even come into Serpent Mound for a lot of our events and ceremonies, and we'll be out in, I think, Vegas and Arizona here in the next coming months. But, if you're not familiar with Serpent Mound, it's just another really, really great vortex energy point. It's just amazing healing energy that occurs at Serpent Mound. For those that don't know, it's like at least a 10 to 12,000-year-old serpent-shaped effigy, earthworks. But it sits on at the edge of a fault of a crater that crashed here, I don't know how long ago. But, you'd have to go someplace like a conscious, like I have to go to the Conscious Life Expos in LA, or I have to go to Sedona, Arizona, or a place like that to really, or Mount Shasta to feel that type of energy. But man, we've got it right here in the Midwest. So anybody, if you're interested in participating or coming to Serpent Mound, Ohio, I certainly would encourage you to do it. Love to have you. And we've got a wonderful family between here and there. I think at one point I referred to myself as helping to construct what I call the Hola Bridge. Kind of like Hola, like a spin on Spanish for saying hello. Hola. Yeah. But it stands for Ohio to LA.
Oh. Well, I'll bet you the people there let people in traffic. I'm going to bet that.
Pardon me?
I'll bet the people there in Ohio let people in traffic.
Oh, yes, they do. They're very polite and cordial here. Really humble people. And a lot of my LA family, my Phoenix, Arizona family, they come here to Serpent Mound, and they've been coming for the last 5 to 6 years. Picked by Ichaniba, who was one of the only Americans that we would find that was initiated into the mysteries of the Dogon mystery schools. We've got my other friends that swim with dolphins, and others out of Phoenix, and Mazatine, my Mayan calendar keeper friend. But just a lot of people from all walks of life and other islands come here for that. So I'm just trying to share and maybe to some extent replicate the family that I have in Los Angeles and the energy that I feel and that vibe and that frequency. And it's present here and it's growing here in Ohio as well. So the Ola Bridge is well under construction. Not that I did it myself, because all the building blocks is here with Chief Golden Light Eagle and his brother and a lot of the other light workers. But it's just, I've got to recognize them because they've been a really important part of how I keep up my positivity, my energy, places where I go that's nearby to get grounded. So that's important.
That's wonderful. Hey, listen, I want to thank you for calling in and being part of the show. And I want to encourage everyone who's listening to share these interviews, to make sure you check out our new show to help save the planet. It's the Dr. Fantastic, or it's Help Dr. Fantastic and Thunder Save the Planet. That'll be on YouTube. And Darrell, Let's talk again and often. And thank you for being fantastic. And everybody, be fantastic.
Thank you very much. Bless.